please post up your row numbers. It'll make it easier and more quicker to streamline your games to appear in the game. Okay, this world is full of hazards. Use your ability to navigate through it. Alright. Oh, I'm getting hit. Be careful! That way you can lose your abilities. Seems you can now find purpose. Alright. Always look what you have left. Okay. Visual perception can help you navigate. Okay, that was not a good place to put that. Oh, okay. There's something shooting at us, that's good to know. Oh. That was a worthy sacrifice. Okay, those are just blocks. Seems to be procedurally generated for the most part. Can't get moving. I'm okay with this. Okay. I'm apparently getting closer to something. Alright. I don't know what the ears do. Okay, apparently that's not happening. I wonder what happens if we die. Oh. I guess nothing, huh? I'm not doing too well. Alright. Oh wow, I took a big risk there. What is it getting hit by? Oh, okay. Alright, so I can't get through there. The lost cause right there. Where is it? Alright, that was a lost cause. I'm getting hit by something I don't know. Guess it's not happening. I don't know what the ear does. The ear does absolutely nothing from what I can discern. Oh, that's what it reveals. That's not useful. Boy, am I not doing this well. Baby steps. Baby steps. Oh. Oh, interesting. Let's do that again. Okay with that. I'm not okay with this. goodness. Darn it. Okay. Alright, there we go. Need that sonar. Okay. Well done, me. Oh, there it is. Alright. So that's what that game was about. Perception. Let's rate it! This game is kind of hard to navigate. And I shouldn't be complaining because I made like a game that's also really hard to navigate, but okay. I kind of like the limited perception of things and how like the perceptions are rendered in this fashion. A couple of things were also really useful. I didn't like this little grid thing here. I wouldn't particularly think that was useful, but you know, it might be useful for some people. I realized what the whole purpose of that was. Some things were not really well translated to me. The ears, for example, revealing what those little green orbs that will cause you to lose your senses very easily. Like that one was weird. I didn't catch that very quickly. I didn't catch the sonar purposes either very well. So I was thinking like, well, if the sonar is there and the ear is there, will it help me figure out what the outer surrounding is more clearly? But apparently eyes are the only thing that lets you do that very easily. So that to me, like that came to be as very unintuitive. The symbology basically is not what I would consider intuitive in this game. I do like the concept. At its core, it's a fascinating experiment on what it's like just traveling around blind. and picking up these parts to kind of give you a better understanding of what the world looks like, but only insofar so much as like being able to see blocks but on their front side, but you don't know what their back side looks like. You can only guess, in other words. So I did find that to be very fascinating aspect of the game. I'm wondering, first off, making sure that everyone can hear me clearly on the stream. Anyways, because there's a lot of sound going on. In a way, I didn't really find it to be especially fun, but I feel like, that was not exactly the intent of the game. At the same time, I'm not sure what I got out of the game either, so I'll have to sit and think about that one for a minute. But yeah, let's actually get started on rating it. Innovation, I actually did like this a lot. You get full stars on my book for that. There's something interesting about putting, there's also sport too, which if you put different body parts and remove them, they do affect how your vision occurs. I did like specifically how this was presented, which I do consider is unusual and different from what I've always seen. So at least you get full scores from me for that. I didn't especially find this to be fun. If anything, it's probably closer to average in that regards. Shapeshift, I do consider that to be a very fascinating take on the theme. Not only is it shapeshifting in the sense, but it's in the sense of the character shape being different, but it's also shapeshift in the sense that it affects your sensory output as well, or input as well. Graphics was very simple. I think it was effective for what it was doing, but at the same time, it's bad. Not exactly something that to me stood out. The audio was definitely the highlight. I like this a lot. And the mood was... This is the part I'm kind of torn about. Because being lost and in a blind spot is not necessarily a fun thing to deal with. And I know that was the intent, but I'm not entirely sure if something that, personally, I'm saying personally here, I thought was interesting to experience, is worth giving high stars for that. And I don't know, I'm kind of torn on this one. The fact that I'm torn on it probably brings it down to a 4-star thing. Its presentation is really good, but there's a lot that... There were a few things I feel like it could have done to be less frustrating than it is right now, while keeping in spirit of the idea that it's about, collecting your sensory input and trying to figure out where the heck you are. And like I said, I find the concept fascinating. I think the execution just needs a slight bit of more polish, in the sense that at least I like to know what I was hit by, and by that I mean I'll right now if you get hit by something, that square will basically just blink red. And I cannot tell whether I'm being hit by those little green orb things, or I'm being hit by those square wall things. And I'll at least like to be able to differentiate between the two. So far, which square got hit, I think is useful information, because it tells me the direction in which I got hit. But, it doesn't tell me what I got hit by. So there are moments where I just started losing sensory objects right and left, and I didn't know why, and I don't personally appreciate that. Like I was just standing still there and nothing, and it was just disappearing, and to me that was weird, because I was already used to the idea that hey, maybe the walls are the cause of making my stuff go away. I should avoid moving too much as I go through this.
So I thought that that was contrary to that experience. I think that was like the most immediate thing that comes to my mind. Uh, you don't really describe the goal of the game. I'm not sure I'm exactly a fan of that. I understand that the Romixal probably wanted to stay very hands off and let the player think for themselves what the experience was, what the whole point of the game was to them. And to be fair, I understand that, and to be fair, I tend to strive for the same form of philosophy. At the same time, like being able to tell that you had a goal at all would have been nice. I'm not entirely sure how you would present it because there's a sonar as an example that you pull in there. I don't know of a good way to make the sonar or make it basically say sonar is what allows you to find the finish goal, finish line. I'm not entirely sure how to kind of present that the right way, but nonetheless, I do feel like there has to be some way of letting you know that you have to go somewhere. And I don't know. That's just me. That's just my opinion on that. At least I personally find it more interesting when a game has a clear objective, regardless of whether that objective is, a long running infinite thing or not. So to me, I'm kind of averaging this around, oh my goodness, 4 stars right now. Um, there's a lot that the game gets right, but to me, the one part that I found frustrating, which was I don't know what the purpose of the game is for me, nor do I know, um, nor do I know what hit me, and thus why I was losing all my sensory stuff. Like those two to me kind of bogged down the experience, and I kind of would have liked those to be polished out a little bit.
Thought this was a really fascinating experience. The two things that really bogged me down were not knowing what, uh, which type of which type of bad things I was hit by, wall versus green orb. And the ambiguous instructions on what the game's objective is. More clarity early on for both of those accounts would really help. My opinion on that.